17th. Today is June 17th. It's week 9. It is 6:43 in the morning. Hi, Pen. And I'm not going to be here this morning, so I wanted to get the video in and up before I head out because I'm going to buy plants. Shocking, I know. Big changes, huge changes in the garden this week. If you watched last week's video, you might know what they are, but I'll start here, which is the surprising growth of this lettuce that has been planted since, I want to say, mid-March, and just now has decided to do anything. So maybe I did empty all of those other planters prematurely, but I might get some leaves out of this. I'm gonna give it another couple weeks because these guys were all small too until maybe even a day or two ago. So I'm going to go back to watering this. I wasn't watering it. Maybe I should not water it because it seems to be doing fine on its own. But yeah, this is growing, which I'm still surprised about. All right, onward. And the sprinklers just went off, so it is soaking wet down here. The containers up here they're looking okay, I think. I mean, for my first effort, I'm not upset about it. The little white ones I planted that are supposed to poke up in the back, they're not doing that. But besides that, when the sun is out, I mean, you can kind of see these. The sun's starting to hit them. They look really nice when the sun's out, and they are starting to fill in. So on the whole, pretty okay. I moved chives into this pot. This pot, don't mind. It needs stuff, which maybe I'll find at the plant store today. But these are chives now. They were in the little greenhouse, which is now empty, as you can see. So they're there. It was a rather aggressive transplant, but I think it'll hold. And over here, we have exciting news. Not on this plant, but this plant. This plant is putting off runners already, so I'm thinking I might not get strawberries on it, but this plant has flowers. And let's see. So that might be the first strawberry I end up having. I see there's a whole bunch of flowers popping up over here. And that's about it so far. Maybe, just maybe next week, that will be a strawberry. Might not be ripe yet, but it'll be a strawberry. The basil's looking good. I pinched off the top, I want to say a couple days ago, in hopes that it'll start to bush out a bit more so you can see the tops are there dying. But basically, the whole thing is whenever you pinch basil, wherever you pinched it, it grows too. So this is now 2. You can see I pinched it there and there's 2. And this one is the same. Actually, this is 3. Oh no, this is 2. Pinched it there and now there's 2. So that's just a way of getting fuller basil. These guys I have been pruning back. Anytime the tops are dead, I bring them down, and that is encouraging a tiny bit of new growth. If you look here, there's some buds about to go. So I'm hoping to just kind of keep these going by deadheading. I don't remember the name of these plants. They're called wallflower irresistibles. There's the tag hiding over there. And I think I put them in a little late. I found them, I don't know, they're in the sale section of Home Depot or Lowe's or something, and I stuck them in the ground, and they were very low and bushy, and now they have these like sticks that aren't as bright as they used to be, but they're perennial, so I think they'll just fill out and get better with age. On the other hand, the plant that I had on the other side, which is also perennial, is either dead or just done for the season. I don't quite know, but it looks really sad. That's it. I deadheaded it the other day. It was pathetic. I don't know if maybe something got to it or what, but the other day I looked over here and it looks sad. So that's that. Over here, the ranunculus are actually, maybe I should just step back for a second and show this. No more trees. Well, this tree is here and Myrtle's here, but no more giant trees in the back. And look at all the sun coming in already. So normally there's a tree, there was the mimosa tree and the arborvitae right here, and that would block all of this sun. So none of this would be in the sun yet. The only thing that would get sun would be the part of the deck. So all of this is now open and getting sun. It's, like I said, it's 6:45 in the morning and it's already getting light, which is so much better. I was really trepidatious about getting rid of the trees, but I'm really glad I did. So that's now no longer blocked. Hopefully the neighbors will deal with that. And then this is where juniper was, and that's where the sun sets. So that is now light straight through till about 8 o'clock at night. So that's really nice. This middle tree, the one that was here, the giant one, was quite an ordeal to get out, but it's gone. And that is why I'm going to the plant center today, because this is empty and it needs to not be, because then I'll get weeds and things. So that will explain why the radish patch is gone, and that's okay. I kind of knew that would happen. I pulled some of the radish plants that we're going to bolt because they're bolting, and I wanted to see if there were any radishes, and there were no radishes in there. The carrots had good tops, but I didn't see any activity, so that's all right. They're all gone. All of the rocks are gone, and that is now ready to get some good soil and start planting. So now I will check out the ranunculus. I was sitting in the hammock yesterday and I saw these. So we are probably mere days, maybe even a day or two, away from having ranunculus flowers. I don't know if this is the only one that has any sort of buds so far. This has been the strongest from the get-go, and that one over there. So these are all pretty small, like comparatively, let's see, that big, and then this is bigger than my whole hand. So I see two, maybe 3 little flower heads in there. So cross your fingers, and they look to be yellow. So we'll find out, because I think I bought a mixed pack of these. I don't know what color they're gonna end up being. Over here, let's see. No flower buds yet. I think that might turn into one down there. And these thicker stems are the ones that seem, oh, yep, there's gonna be one right there. So the thicker stems are what to look out for, it would appear. Ew, there's a slug in there, gross. Where is he? Little baby one. Gross. What else is over here? We have, hold on, ducking under the tree. Lemongrass. The tree's wet from the sprinklers too. The lemongrass is massive. I repotted that, I want to say just before last week's video, and it's already filled out this pot. My goal is to get it into one of the biggest containers I can and plant it in that corner probably, or not plant it, put the container in that corner so that I have a grassy sort of sculptural element. Plus I love lemongrass, it smells like Skittles. The rosemary is getting big. What was here? There's a mint plant. Oh, I moved the peppermint. I don't think it was doing very well here. It wasn't growing very much. It might be too much shade. I'm getting rained on. So I'm trying that somewhere else. And this is a chive, that one little stick right there from when Penny knocked the planter over. So one chive and then some weeds that I have to deal with. Over here in the new hammock corner, no longer trees, this is where the radish patch was. We have 2 containers, so this is the bushing cucumbers, I think. So they're here, and then the chives are doing very, very well, actually. Probably start cutting those. I think I said that last week. I don't have a use for chives at the moment, but I will find one. Maybe I'll make some eggs or something. So clearly this soil needs love, but it's ready to go and be planted. I'm just trying to figure out the plan. I did draw some lines in here yesterday, but I think the sprinkler and the water and the wind erased them. But basically, seeding area, flower area, maybe some grass there, or ornamental grass there, flower and plant area, strawberry area, but to be determined. I was sitting here to see if I liked this area as a seeding area. So anyway, back to, where do we go from here? Needs to be grass, it's seeded and everything already. This is how far out that tree came, and it just killed everything under it. So hopefully that grass will take. And let's go over to, there was a little damage to that Icelandic poppy from all the tree. So there was a tree there. There were 2 trees there. And there was one very large tree there. And, you know, all the movement and the branches falling and everything. Lost a couple of flower heads there. But the plant itself is still okay. So I'm sure it'll be fine. All of the, pardon my inability to pronounce the letter N. My allergies are just crazy this morning. what are these? Snapdragons. The snapdragons have come back, which is awesome because they look really good. And as always, Mr. Yellow over here is abundant. I actually just put some, let's call it plant food. It's organic. It's actually meant for, I had it for the garden, but when I was reading how I can, these flowers are much smaller and less stable than the earlier ones. And I'm sure that's normal, but I've also read that poppies can be heavy feeders. So I found the most nitrogen rich, so what word am I looking for? Fertilizer, I guess, that I had, which is the same fertilizer that I would put on leafy greens. No, sorry. It's the same fertilizer I would put on vegetables, I think. I don't know. I'll look it up. And hopefully that will help. So it was in there yesterday, and now the water has hit it, so it should start to soak in and maybe just strengthen these up a little bit. So the columbine, maybe they'll do a little bit better now that the sun's hitting back there again. And same is true for that poppy. It wasn't getting a lot of sun before because of all the shade around it. You know, this was a huge tree, and this was a huge tree behind myrtle. Then the mint is actually looking a little worse for wear at the moment. What the heck happened here? Almost looks like it got sprayed by something. I'll just rotate that a bit. And this is the new home for the peppermint. It's looking a little bit better. It was very red before, which is why I was kind of wondering if it wasn't getting enough light. So I would expect that this will start to fill out soon, hopefully. And then I'll just show the back of myrtle for my own future memory jogging. Don't fall. So this, where I'm standing right now, was a tree, and it was, I think I showed a couple of videos ago, it was basically just growing into this tree. So this tree is just flat back here. There's nothing growing outward to make it a full tree. So hopefully now that it's getting full sun, this will start to grow out. You can see that's normal, that's not. And I'm just gonna keep working on training it to fill in here, and then put maybe a hydrangea or something in this area, and a lot of flowers, obviously. All right, now on to the actual garden. I found some fun things yesterday, and hopefully the sun is hitting them now that I can show them. The radishes, I keep saying every week they have to be picked, but I'm going to the garden store this morning, so I will be able to replace things. I did start to plant, so I mentioned I cleared out the greenhouse, and there were a lot of onion starts in there. Not starts, they would be onion seeds. So I've just sort of interplanted them here, knowing that the radishes are going to come out, and they're not going to really compete because the radishes are done. So there's a 4x3 section, I think, here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5x3 actually. And so you can see the little tiny onion sprouts, and then that goes to the rest of the onions over there, which I also fed yesterday. That's what got me digging out the fertilizer. Is I was researching why these onions are so much smaller than I think they should be right now, and also why this might answer why these bits of lettuce are smaller than these bits of lettuce, which are all planted at the same time. And same for the radish over there. And onions, I've learned now, are very heavy feeders, especially on nitrogen. And nitrogen is also what lettuce feeds on. If I remember correctly, I might be getting this totally backwards because it's either the nitrogen or the potassium, but if I remember correctly, the nitrogen is what produces the green leaves, and the potassium is what produces fruits and things, or helps produce stronger and feeds fruits and things. So you put more nitrogen on leafy plants and more potassium on fruit-bearing plants. And maybe, just maybe, because these are all leafy right here, that is why those are smaller. So you can see right there, maybe there's some little granules of plant food. It's an organic, I use a company called Eco Scraps. I used them a couple years back when I did my other garden, and it seemed to work. They're harder to come by now. I had to get them, they had to order them online, so I might look for something new going forward. Excuse me, birds, I'm talking. The plant store today actually has garden tone for a really good price, so I might pick up some of that. But this is hopefully going to help the onions perk up. I'm not so worried about the lettuce because there's good lettuce here, and I actually cut this lettuce the other day to use, and it's already regrown. So those heads over there are not ideal, but not the worst. But hopefully it means the onions will grow, because those are the only purple onions I have, I think. So radishes, onions, lots of lettuce. The bok choy has to come out. It has been eaten alive by cabbage moth worms, or whatever they're called. The scallions are huge, and this San Marzano tomato is not looking great. It's really, really not. There's no bugs on it. There's no, well, I guess it's a little blighty, but there's no flowers. The flowers well, they're there, but I don't think they took. So it's not looking great. It gets the most sun. It isn't really surrounded by anything that would bother it. I'm not quite sure what's going on with it. I'm gonna leave it there because, I don't know, tomatoes are pretty resilient, but I might pick up another one today and see if I can have a backup plan, because I was really hoping to make some sauce with the San Marzano tomatoes, and that's my only San Marzano plant. And, well, if I don't have that, I can't make sauce. The carrots are still small. I actually forgot to feed this row, so I'll have to do that later when I come in and do some more stuff. And then this area here, which looks like a bunch of stuff thrown in, is a bunch of stuff thrown in. So this is me taking what was left of the greenhouse that was viable and plunking it in here. So we have the cilantro that was already in here. It's there, and there, I think. And then these are all the various greens that were in there. So there's like mesclun mix, black-eyed Simpsons, and arugula, maybe. So I've just kind of plunked them all in there to see if they take, because the spinach actually did take when I did that. The black-eyed Simpsons I actually put in. There was a little space in here where the seeds either I missed a spot when I was planting them, or they didn't germinate. So those are there, and these are just a bunch of, well, basically look like bean sprouts at the moment, but microgreens. Let's call them microgreens. They're there, and we'll see if they take. Also here are what I hope will be the jalapeno. There's a third one. Third one. 3. So those are tiny little babies, and at this rate, well, they're putting on more leaves, so they seem to have rooted or survived the transplant, which was a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. We'll just go with that. Who next? I guess while the sun is hitting it, I will show you my very first snap pea. So this is I believe it's a speckled snap pea, and it's bright red. I actually think this is ready to pick, but I'm not going to do that yet. I might pick it this afternoon. And this is the first pea of this set of, I believe it's speckled snap. Yeah, if I can't read it, that probably means speckled. I haven't seen any other, oh, there's another flower right behind it and a couple flowers over there, so there might be more, but that is the first one there. I see some flowers coming up on the honey, and I did see, where did it go? There is a royal snap right here, and a bunch more royal snap flowers. So, oh, nope, that's a flower. I think that's all of them there for now. Then over here we have the cucumbers, which are starting to grow up their trellis. So, and I've seen some flowers start to form here. So there's one there, there's one there, there's one in there. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. And I thought I saw a cucumber itself. There's another flower. I saw a baby cucumber somewhere. Where are you? Yeah, it must have been a flower. So these are all starting to grow up, and I start training these over here that way as they start growing up. But good sign that we're starting to see flowers. I also saw some flowers forming on the pepper here, and I have the tiniest baby string beans here. So focus, because it's so small. It's right here. There's one there. There's a little bit bigger one right here. I saw a third one. Yep, there's a third one right here. So I have at least 3 miniature string beans. Lots of flowers here, so that's promising for more string beans. I have some grape tomatoes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 forming on, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 forming on this stem. think that's the first flower stem I had on this plant. There's another one back there, but I don't see any tomatoes on it yet. And I already have to retie this. I just retied it a day or two ago. Then, and this is the supersonic. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and that one there is a good size for, I think that's it so far. Also growing upward. And then same plant, this one is not growing upward, but there's 2 good size, maybe 3, yeah. 2 good size and a baby. 1, 2, and a little baby right here. So doing well on getting the beefsteaks, and then poor San Marzano over there isn't doing so great. So I did see a sucker starting to grow on here, which I will use as the new main stem and start to grow upward, because I don't know what happened to this one. This could be the stem that's supposed to be going up, but I don't think it is. So I'm just gonna wait for the sucker to grow up and start to point that one upward. The Serrano doesn't have anything too exciting yet, and I think that is everyone. Looks, the green beans, that's the spinach. It got hit by a volleyball yesterday, so you know, I could have some baby spinach leaves if I wanted to. I don't quite know. That's where the volleyball hit it. So didn't have luck with spinach this year. I'm gonna do another round shortly. We're at the end of spinach season now, but then when it cools down again, maybe in like late August, early September, maybe even mid-September, I'll do another round. Or if I can find a good shady spot once these are grown up more, maybe when the peas are done, that might be shady back there, I'll put a round of lettuce back there, including spinach. And check out these scallions. They are solid. All right, I think that's everyone. Did a reverse tour today, so I don't know if I missed anything, but I'm gonna say that was everything. That's the garden. So week 9, and I think next week we might actually have harvested some things, and we'll have a lot more plants, and yeah, I'm excited. I think we're getting into the fun part of the season where we can actually start eating the things that have been sitting here for months now. Cool. If you like this, as always, please like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and add a comment, because I'm kind of overwhelmed by this whole row back here of what I need to do. So if you have any ideas, any favorite plants, anything, let me know in the comments, and I will see you next week. Thanks. Bye.